For more than a year now, Spotlight on America has been investigating why it takes so long for the government to warn the public about dangerous products. Water beads, a popular sensory toy for children that you see here, are the latest product where injuries have piled up for years. But like so many times before, no recall or warning was issued until after a child died. These tiny, colorful beads look like candy. When fluid is added, the super absorbent polymer balls can grow up to 100 times their original size and cause immeasurable harm to a small child who swallows them.
It was projectile vomiting blood at that point, over and over again. One point I just kind of lost it and I was like, he's gonna die. Like, we need to do something, he's gonna die.
Florida mom Sarah Gent remembers a day of sheer terror when her little boy Henry unknowingly ingested water beads.
You are jumping.
Today, the family is grateful.
Get it, boy, get it.
Their sweet, rambunctious toddler survived.
Oh, no!
But he almost didn't make it. The Gents had purchased a Chuckle and Roar activity bin like this one for their older daughter. It's filled with lots of sensory toys like sand, confetti, and yes, water beads. They say they always supervise play, but some of these tiny little beads spilled out onto the floor and remained hidden until little Henry, crawling around, found them. As the beads absorbed his body fluid and grew inside him, Henry became violently ill.
These are the actual
These are the
water
actual
beads.
ones, yeah.
They had no idea what happened until Henry threw up 3 enlarged water beads at the hospital. A fourth, this clear golf ball-sized blob, obstructed his bowel and had to be removed by emergency surgery. It's been a year and Henry is doing better now, but his parents say he will have lifelong complications from the invasive surgery. They don't understand why there was no official warning about the blockage risk before Henry's injury, despite previous reports of the danger to the toy industry and government. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, the agency tasked with protecting Americans from dangerous products, revealed last year nearly 8,000 children were treated in hospital emergency rooms for water bead injuries between 2016 and 2022.
It makes me so angry. They should have been protected. This shouldn't have happened.
These are some of my favorite pictures of her.
Just 6 months after Henry nearly died, a baby girl in Wisconsin, 10-month-old Esther Bethard, did die after ingesting water beads in July of 2023.
My days feel very empty. She should still be with us.
After Esther's death, the CPSC and toy manufacturer Buffalo Games finally issued a recall, but only for the specific product involved in Esther's death. Chuckle and Roar's Ultimate Water Beads Activity Kits. CPSC Chair Alex Hohenserek also issued a warning about all water beads, saying they can be deadly to babies and small children, and the risk is not limited to a single product.
It should not have taken the death of my 10-month-old for that to happen.
But like so many times before, the Malm Dresser, Peloton Treadmill, Boppy Pillow, and Fisher-Price Rock and Play, it did take the death of a child before a recall was issued.
If I knew a product was killing people right now, I couldn't tell you.
1 year ago, Hohenserek made that startling statement to Spotlight on America, criticizing a provision in the law which limits the agency's ability to warn the public about dangerous products without first trying to get a company's consent. At the time, he proposed an internal CPSC rule change he said would give the government agency more flexibility to get information out faster, but it's still not been implemented.
It's been a year now, really, since it was initially proposed. Why is this taking so long?
You know, I believe it's taking too long. I would like to get it done faster.
But Hohenserek says he still needs to get more support from the other commissioners to get it done.
Do you feel like that the CPSC is doing enough to protect the public from dangerous products?
I'd like for us to be doing more, but we're doing what we can with the restrictions that we have.
Oh, big boy.
I love you.
After coming so close to losing their precious child,
Oh, those are so good.
Sarah Gent says she resents those restrictions that help keep dangerous products secret.
Feels like the retailers and these companies are having better protection laws than we are for our children and their lives. That blows your mind a little bit.
Spotlight on America did contact the other CPSC commissioners, but none responded to our request for comment. With pressure from safety advocates growing, several major retailers have voluntarily promised to stop selling water beads for children. In our next report, we'll look at whether that pledge is working. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski. This mom from Texas never expected to be walking the halls of Congress, the face of a movement.
If we don't do this, kids are gonna die.
Warning the public about the dangers of water beads.
I'm Ashley, nice to meet you.
Ashley Haugen is trying to convince lawmakers to support the Ban Water Beads Act.
Water beads never should have been put on the market in the first place as a children's toy. They are inappropriate, they are not safe.
The tiny, colorful beads made of super absorbent polymer look like candy sprinkles, and when fluid is added can grow up to 100 times their original size, creating a risk for intestinal blockages and toxic reactions if swallowed by infants and small children. Ashley's daughter Kipley suffered serious injuries from water beads 7 years ago. When she posted their story on social media, it went viral, and she discovered their family was not alone. The same thing happening to child after child.
Too many children have been getting hurt. It's incredibly... Our system doesn't protect kids.
Last year, the Consumer Product Safety Commission revealed nearly 8,000 children were treated in hospital emergency rooms for water bead injuries between 2016 and 2022. But no recall was issued until after the death of 10-month-old Esther Bethard in Wisconsin in July of 2023.
It makes me frustrated at our system and how our system repeatedly fails families. Children shouldn't have to die before action is taken.
It's incredibly upsetting. None of these injuries should be taking place.
Consumer Product Safety Commission Chair Alex Owen-Sarek says his agency is limited legally by a slow process, trying to get a manufacturer's support to issue warnings and recalls.
Do you think all water beads should be banned when they're marketed to children as toys?
I can tell you right now, if it was me, I wouldn't have them in my household if a small child was even going to be visiting.
So why not just take action?
I think the agency is acting very quickly in this situation, not as quickly as people may want us to. But we do have to follow the law.
The water bead recall issued last fall was only for the specific product involved in baby Esther's death, leaving multiple other water bead products for kids still on the market.
Hello!
But with pressure mounting for more action, last November, New Jersey Congressman Frank Pallone introduced the Ban Water Beads Act.
I can't emphasize enough how Ashley and the moms are making a difference because they draw attention to the fact that these are dangerous.
After Pallone's legislation was introduced, several major retailers, including Target, Walmart, and Amazon, agreed to stop selling water beads for children. But while fewer products are now being sold, Spotlight on America was still able to easily find them. We searched the web for weeks, repeatedly documenting multiple websites selling water beads to kids. Some were more obscure sites, like Schoolcraft and Blaine's Farm and Fleet, but also major retailers like Barnes & Noble selling this mermaid kit with water beads, and third-party sellers on Amazon and Walmart, which pledged to stop selling water beads to kids. We purchased a few of the items to confirm they would still be delivered, and sure enough, here they are.
There's no penalty because it's voluntary.
And you think that's why the bill is needed?
Absolutely, sure.
Second floor.
Which is why this mom from Texas says she won't give up.
Water beads are dangerous.
And neither will her daughter Kipley.
She wants children safe from water beads. She doesn't want what happened to her to happen to any other child.
Spotlight on America did follow up with the online retailers we found selling water beads for kids. Only Amazon and Walmart responded, both saying water bead products being marketed to children are not allowed on their websites, and they are addressing the ones we found. You can read more on their responses on our website in this story at spotlightinvestigates.com. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski. For more than a year and a half now, Spotlight on America has been investigating why it takes so long for a product to be recalled, even after the government knows about serious injuries and even deaths. Safety advocates say something has to change, but a push for more transparency is making little progress.
Instead of planning his party, I was planning a funeral.
For the past year and a half,
My days feel very empty. She should still be with us.
Spotlight on America has reported on multiple deaths.
Every moment was special with him. At the time, I just didn't know how much.
And injuries.
They should have been protected. This shouldn't have happened.
The painful, tragic consequences when product recalls were delayed, even after the government knew the products were hurting and killing children.
If you look at the Rock and Play, the delay there costs lives.
Consumer Product Safety Committee Commissioner Rich Trumka has been a prominent voice at the agency tasked with protecting the public from dangerous products.
I am a big proponent of warning the public when I know about a hazard, because if there's a risk that our government knows about, it needs to share that with us.
But too often, that doesn't happen. The CPSC cites a provision of the Consumer Product Safety Act, Rule 6B, often called the gag rule, which limits the agency's ability to warn the public without first getting the consent of the product manufacturer.
If I knew a product was killing people right now, I couldn't tell you.
CPSC Commission Chair Alex Owen-Sarek made that startling statement to Spotlight on America more than a year ago when he first proposed changes to the agency's internal rules to beef up its ability to warn the public. But those efforts have stalled, the CPSC telling Spotlight on America staff is working on rewriting the proposed changes and there is no update. Trumka did not support the original proposed changes, saying they did not go far enough, and the commission was handcuffing itself.
What it needs to do is strip away every restriction that this agency has put on itself that goes beyond what's required by the law.
Isn't getting some wiggle room better than getting nothing?
Some wiggle room would be good. I'm concerned maybe we only have one bite at the apple.
Meantime, Dreamland Baby, a company that makes weighted infant sleep products, is threatening to sue the CPSC, alleging the agency violated Rule 6B and is hurting its business. That after the CPSC put out a warning in April that weighted sleep products are not safe for infants, and telling Spotlight on America they are aware of multiple fatalities associated with the products. The CPSC did not name Dreamland Baby in its warning, and the company has not been publicly identified as the cause of death in any incidents.
Basically, you have a company threatening to sue the CPSC for warning the public. Isn't that exactly what you're concerned about?
Oh, I'm not concerned about frivolous lawsuits. I mean, anybody can file anything they want.
Trumka says the agency is exempt from Rule 6B when it issues a warning about an entire product category considered dangerous and does not name a specific company.
Consumers want safety.
U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal says the threat of lawsuits can have a chilling effect on a small agency like the CPSC and believes Rule 6B should be repealed. Last year, he introduced legislation to do that, the Sunshine in Product Safety Act.
The need for that kind of reform is made absolutely obvious and compelling by these kinds of really unfounded threats.
But just like the CPSC proposed rule changes, the Sunshine in Product Safety Act also is stalled, lacking bipartisan support. All the while, the government continues to know about product hazards it says it can't tell us about.
Every day you don't warn somebody about a known danger like that could be a day that somebody loses their life because of it.
While efforts have stalled to fix what safety advocates call a broken recall system, the CPSC has become more aggressive in trying to warn the public. So far this fiscal year, issuing more than double the number of warnings it did last year, and on track to issue slightly more recalls. But this year, the CPSC's budget was cut by $1.5 million, and sources tell us more proposed cuts are coming for 2025, raising concerns that losing more funding could further impact the agency's ability to protect the public. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.